Sounds good.
So yeah, okay. So I was just making my list and
Checking it
because I
twice.
wanted to write things down tonight so we could really kind of go orderly. Because before we went into I call it winter break because my kids are still in school, but before we went into the holidays, um, we talked somewhat about goals in 2023 and just some strategies for the holidays. So this call I wanted to talk about some different kind of ways to look at setting your goals, some different strategies with that, and then some of the tools. And I know I've missed stuff on my list, and that's why y'all are here, because you can be like, hey, you missed this one, or this is what I do, or this is how it works. That way we can kind of have a nice comprehensive, conversation about different ways to do it. Because I think every hopefully by now, weight loss and fitness and your health journey is different for every single person because we are all different. We have different bodies, we have different things that we do, we have different mindsets about things. And so one strategy that works for me may not be the best strategy for you, but there's multiple strategies that work well. And no matter what mindset strategy we use goal to get there, the plans we're using are fantastic, right? They're solid in their science, in fueling our body. We have great workout plans to go with it. So all those things are great. Now it's just, okay, how do I plan this goal, this strategy, and use the tools we have to get to where I want to be? And what's the best way to do it for me? Okay. So let's start into, okay, I got to move this out of the way so I can see you guys and read my notes, right? Otherwise it's going to get weird. I'll start looking different places. Okay. So let's talk about goals. So, these are just ways to think about setting your goals or setting how you're going to get there. Some people are going to be really good at just being all in, right? All in on whatever they're going to do. They're like, this is how I'm going to do it. I don't need any barriers in my way. Everything is going to be 100% toward this thing. Some people may want to just focus, and we're obviously using fitness and nutrition while we're talking about this, but some people may want to just focus on the workouts or just focus on the nutrition plan. They're like, I'm kind of okay, in one or the other, but I really just want to nail down this section. Okay. And then some people really just need one thing to focus on, where you're like, okay, I am just going to track my food every day. If I can track my food every day for a month, I'm going to be so much better off. And then I can habit stack on that the next month. I can add something else in. But I really all I can do right now is just this one singular focus. And not one of those strategies are right or wrong. It's really all about where you are and how you do with those things mindset wise. Okay. So it's kind of this idea of, am I willing? Like, let's say we were talking, Carol, you reminded me of the fitness competition. So we were talking about being a fitness competitor. If you want to be a fitness competitor and you want it to happen fast, or if you want any result and you want it to happen fast, you're going to need an all-in strategy, right? You're really going to need to nail down a lot of things. And you may be mentally ready to do that. I remember my very first group with Beachbody. I did 21-day fix. I did portion fix with it. And I nailed it, right? I did all my workouts. I did the food plan exactly the way I was supposed to do the food plan, but I was mentally ready for that. I was like, whatever it says for me to do, that's what I'm doing. My mental energy was ready to handle it all. So, but since then, I've done, I don't know how many groups since that point. And not all of those groups have been all in because I wasn't mentally there to be doing that. Do you know what I'm saying? So there are times when even within my own journey, I've been all in. I've been, okay, I'm just going to focus on this or that. And there's been times where I'm just going to focus on one thing. Like when the shutdown happened and we started 10 rounds, I'm like, if I can just get a workout in every day, I'm going to be really happy with myself. Because the world is collapsing and we don't know what's happening. And if I can just get this workout in, I'm going to feel really great. Right. So that's kind of what I think I'm thinking about in terms of like when you're thinking about your goals. So does anybody have any questions about that, or does that resonate? Like all of them are good. It's what is going to work for you and where you're at right now. Like how much mental energy, physical energy you can put into things. Hi, Jess. Hi, Christina. Hi, Lily.
I,
So is any thoughts about that piece?
please. That's
Well,
good.
I can tell you,
said it all.
I appreciate what you're saying about being all in on a program, because I relate back to the Ultimate Reset. And I
Right.
remember those 3 weeks, I was
I was
100%
all in it. Yep.
measuring everything. And by God, I was not going to cheat at all, because I didn't want to have to come back on here and tell everybody I was cheating on something, So that's where my
Accountability.
is I was not going to do anything stray away from it. And I have not been able to get back to that same mindset since then. And I don't know why.
That
So,
is interesting. And, and I don't know that I could pinpoint it either, but there's been a few times where I'm like 1,000% in. And then there's been a couple times where I'm like, I want to be in. Like I've started program, like Lift More. I started Lift More and I was like, I really want to nail down my nutrition as far as like, I'm going to eat a certain maintenance or whatever level I was in. And, and I did all the workouts, but for some reason, the nutrition part stayed a little more loose than I had planned to. And I couldn't say what part about my mindset at the time was like different,
mhm.
but clearly I wasn't quite ready to dial it in. So let's take that. So think about, as you're thinking about your goals right now, thinking about what you want to achieve this month, this next 3 months, this year. So then you can kind of layer in these strategies. Okay. So maybe on your plan or whatever you'd like to do, you want to have some cheat days. You could also call that I don't want to call rest days and deload weeks cheat days, but
Mental
you know what
health
I'm saying?
days.
You want to have a little off time. Let's call it that. And so like, and cheat days may work really well for you. I know Bev has talked about like when she did Lift 4, cheat days worked great for her. But you also may be a person where cheat days kind of open up too much. And then it feels like you got to put it all back in. And you're like, this isn't working, because it's like I open up the box and everything comes flying out. And now I got to figure out how to box it up again for Monday. And, so that may not be a strategy that works for you. Now, so all of these are like things that you have to figure out what's the best fit for you, right? So you could have rewards. Maybe you reward yourself this month with a massage if you completed whatever your goal was for the month. You could have a result, like focus on the results. Now, I like to stay away from a weight result because I'm not, I think that's the least important of the things. But like if you're going through, let's say working out every day is your goal for this month. By the end, you're going to feel really good after working out. You're going to feel good each day from getting the workout done. You're going to feel accomplished. You're going to have more energy because you worked out. You might have a little twinge of soreness. It feels pretty good, like you did something, right? And so feeling those things each day is a results strategy, right? Like you're like, I want to get this done because I know I'm going to have the result of feeling good from it. I'm going to have the result of more energy. The results could be some different measurements, could be different fat percentages. There's lots of ways to look at results. And again, this is where you have to go back to you, right? Like what's for you. And then the other thing, this one is one I really like, and Sue and I were kind of hitting on this a little bit, short-term all in strategy. So we've talked about this before on this call. Like if you have a 3-week program, this is perfect with the body blocks coming up. You're going to have a 3-week body block and you're like, I'm going to go all in for this 3 weeks. It's short. It doesn't feel like the rest of your life. Like, you're never going to have a donut again, right? That kind of feeling. So if you're a person who feels like you don't want that deprivation of never having something again, you go all in on a nutrition plan for 3 weeks or 1 month, whatever it is, right? Whatever you want to pick. And you just focus on that time period, not what happens after, not what the results are, right? But that small time period of just doing all the pieces that you said you'd do. Okay, so that's like tier 2 for me. And I don't know, are there other strategies you guys have or use or can think of kind of along those lines?
Well, one thing I was thinking of is, for me, I want it to be hard. Like,
okay, yeah.
it's not, I'm not all in unless it's hard, sort of. But it's interesting because I approach the workouts that way, but like the nutrition is hard and I don't want to do that hard.
Yeah.
Right. I want to do the other hard, but I don't want to do the nutrition hard. So
Yeah.
I didn't really realize that. That was just a light bulb I just had.
That's
now.
fascinating because honestly,
Yeah.
I think some people they think their nutrition has to be complicated in order to be effective too. You know what I mean? They're like, well, I'm going to combine 2B with Portion Fix and I'm going to throw in some gut protocol recipes. And then we'll like I'm going to make my own plan out of these 3 plans, right? Let's make it all really complicated and hard to follow. And then it's going to work.
Right.
So, yeah, I think sometimes we add a little extra danger.
I would say the same thing with the gut protocol. When we did gut protocol, like for me, it was like, okay, I made it a week without coffee and alcohol, and then I made it 2 weeks, and that just kept like going up and up, and then it was like, well, okay, now I need to make it to the end of the program without all this because I've already done it for so long. Why go in now? Why have a glass of wine or whatever, or coffee, because you could have coffee on the plan, but I chose not to. And so it was kind of like a game at that point. Like, okay, I'm all in, might as well just stay all in, see how long I can do this.
Yes. I love that. That kind of actually is like another strategy. It's kind of a stay in the moment strategy, right? Because you're just doing whatever you need to do right now. You're not focused on, okay, I've given up coffee forever. I'm like, I'm just going to do it for today. I'm going to do it tomorrow. I'm just going to kind of keep in this moment and keep doing it and see where it goes. Right?
That's what I've,
the
that's
strategy
what
a
I've
lot
been
of people
doing.
use for alcohol.
Yeah, I know for myself, like I want the result like tomorrow. So like if I
We
work
all
out,
do.
I
We
want
all
like
do.
yeah,
Yeah.
like I worked out today, so I should have flat abs tomorrow, So, and I know for me, like I've been thinking about ways to like stop the self-sabotage almost, and that's what I call it. So like yesterday, and I know that I wrote in the group, but like, my family had fries and I wanted one really bad, but I just said that's not worth it for me today. So
Yeah.
I just didn't have it. So I have to think about that in the moment. And so I'm not really thinking about tomorrow. I'm just thinking about how to get through today with my nutrition. And then, I mean, like tonight I have to meal prep because I'm actually going into the office tomorrow, which makes it slightly difficult. But like, I'm going to think about just today, just filling out that tracker that I've been doing every day. And that's been really helping me. But then I've also been focusing on like, what are the little things that are coming into play that could get me off of that road or get me off of my grain, which is like the unnecessary sugar or salt or whatever. So that's what I've just been kind of focusing on.
That's perfect. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, and that kind of takes us into the different tools we have. So all along the way, you're going to discover things that help you do that shift, right? Like the fact that you said, do I need this today, right? I always have in my mind, I'm always saying I can have this food anytime I want. So that means I don't have to have it right now. And I don't feel bad if I don't have it. I don't feel like I didn't get to do something. So whatever kind of mindset mantra you can create for yourself, and if it's workout related, you could say something else. I don't know who's got a good workout mantra. Anybody?
I work out for food.
What?
I work out for food. I'm sorry. I need that on a shirt.
Just
I
get
need
your
to
butt in
work
there and get
out.
it done. Yeah. So it's like you could create a mindset mantra to help you remember, kind of what you're working toward, what this day is about for you, what that decision means for you. It kind of brings me back to, I don't know how many people create like a word for their year. Anybody? Okay, me and Jess. Oh, Lily, did you raise your hand? So like my word this year is build, which sounds really, I think, kind of boring. It's because in years past I've had shine and bold. They sound so much more glamorous. But I'm like, this is my build year. This is my year of building me. This is my year of building my business, building up my family. Like this is my year to like, I look at we watch a lot of college football. This is my build year, right? I'm going to get the right recruits in. I'm going to get the right coaching staff. We're going to build it up so that next year we're in the national championship. So think about those types of just quick, either word, a saying, something that helps you stay in that moment, stay with the thing you want most, right? The thing you want more than the French fry or the M&M or whatever you're thinking, right? So another tool is our community chat groups. Hello, anytime you're on the edge, come into the chat group and be like just like the fact that Liz, you talked about, not eating your French fries. Awesome. That's going to help us all be like, she did it. We can do it. It's possible. We're going to survive this. We can live through it, right? All of those things. If you're struggling to get that workout in, jump on the Zoom, right? There's almost always somebody on there. It's just like, that has probably been one of the best things we've put into play, especially when we stop seeing people in the shutdown, and to be able to just connect with people. I mean, we all kind of jokingly, we all know a lot of stuff about each other's lives that a lot of our friends don't know because we're on Zoom together every day. And that's not a bad thing, right? I mean, and we get each other sick on Zoom. And it makes it extra fun. Another tool, you always have access to your coach, right? Message your coach if there's something you just feel like you keep hitting a wall on. If there's something that you're like, I just can't quite break into this part. I keep messing up here, or I keep, there's some kind of block somewhere. Message your coach. Another tool is focusing in on your tracking. I'm with you. I hate tracking myself, but I love the data, and I love what happens when I actually follow the plan, tracking it, right? I love what happens when I'm actually doing the program, the plan, whatever you're focusing on. You could focus in on those badges. That's also a little bit of a strategy, right? Like, I'm going to do this program because I want the badge. So badges are a little bit of a reward to say, kudos to you, way to go. So you could focus in on getting that next badge. One thing I definitely like to focus in on for a tool, and this was brought up in strategies too, but really letting yourself know how good you feel for following through with your commitment, reminding yourself that I'm going to be really proud of myself if I just track today, or if I eat this vegetable with my meal instead of the extra fries, or whatever it is, right? Like, whatever your thing is, just giving yourself that little bit of a praise and being like, I'm going to be really proud of myself for doing this. Maybe you need a workout buddy to come into the community with you, right? Like if there's someone, I know some people have people locally that they get to work out with, and that's super fun. So if you have like someone that's close to you, or invite your, your friend to the Zooms, then you can meet on there. Can make more friends on Zoom, right? If you don't have someone you're working out with, then make a buddy on Zoom. There's lots of times where we're all pretty consistent. So you're going to see the same people on Zoom every morning. And you'll get to know them. I promise. We're all open books, I think. Another tool is the meal prep class. And then, sorry, my voice is about ready to. Hang on, let me drink a little tea. Okay, so we have the meal prep class. And while that's monthly, we've opened up the Zoom link. So if you want a meal prep, just jump in that nutrition chat and be like, hey, does anybody need to prep anything right now? Or anybody want to jump on Zoom and cook? Same thing as the workout Zoom. The Zooms are there to use. And if you want some buddies or want to see if anybody wants to Zoom, or even if you need recipe ideas, jump into that nutrition chat and just be like, hey, what do you guys meal prepping? And then the bod groups. So the bod groups are always a great tool. Like you can see other people have worked out. You can get, a little inspiration from the daily posts. Give some love and some high fives to other people. I promise you that feels awesome to encourage everyone else in the group as you're doing things. And then you'll feel that love too. So what other tools do you guys use? That's all I have on my list, but what other tools are you using to hit your goals, to help you like stay in on that focus?
I'm actually really enjoying the daily selfie that I'm taking and putting on my wall. Yeah, because I gotta have a picture. And if I don't work out, then there's no pictures.
Yes. I love it. Yeah, and there's lots of ways you could do that, right? You can daily selfie into a bod group. If you want it more private, right? You could do it in your stories. You can put it on the collage so that you're like filling it in every day. It's like your check mark for your calendar. And you don't have to send that out. You can just look at it yourself. These don't have to be things that you feel like pressure, if you're not used to putting it out in the world, you can still do it just for yourself. So that you have that and you can look back and be like, wow, look at me. I did like 26 workouts or whatever in January, whatever it is. So
That's what I'm doing. I'm coloring in the.
Oh yeah, and the coloring sheets. I love those too. Yes.
For some reason that just like, I think Lily, you posted it and I like printed it out as soon as like I downloaded it, printed it, and I've been doing it like every day. And my friend that I showed, I was like, look what we're doing. And she's like, oh, that's right up your alley. That is right up your alley. I was like,
I love it.
And it's just something that I think I'll definitely like, I have it in my notebook of all the calls that I'm on. And like, that's what I've been trying to focus on. And I just like color it every day. Because I know if one's missing, it'll like,
right.
I won't feel guilty
you're
about it.
You're already thinking you don't want to look at that blank day a week from now. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's been really helpful for me. I mean, it's 5 days in, but still, but I know it's going to be helpful.
Yep. That's what I love about these tools. Like, I mean, like for me, coloring in something isn't going to be my jam, right? But like, I love the fact that we have so many different things that we have access to that we can, and once you find that thing that matters to you, right? Like Sue's all about her badges, right? I mean, I'm a little disappointed you don't want to make stickers and put it on your bike though. That's all I'm saying. But you have to figure out what your thing is, what really kind of pulls you in to be like, I'm doing this. I'm doing this on the day where I probably don't really want to, and it's hard to get down to the gym. Mine's the garage, and it's I really don't want broccoli today. It's like, sounds like the most miserable vegetable on the planet, but I'm going to have my veggies. I'm going to get it in because I'm going to feel better, whatever it is, right? That's where we have to be at.
I know one thing I've been doing for like the last 4 years is kind of like the habit stacking. So instead of coloring every day, because I would probably lose the piece of paper. I always have my planner. So every year I get a new planner. And so I just cross out the days that I did a workout. And sometimes, you know, I feel like a workout has to be 30 minutes. Well, I shifted my mindset about 4 years ago and was like, I just have to do 10 minutes a day. It has to be 10 minutes, not vacuuming, not picking up the house, like intentional stretching or some sort of movement. And like that's just been my goal every year, just to do the 10 minutes. And I love it because it's not complicated. Everybody has 10 minutes. And so that's just been really fun for me. I think one year I hit every single day. I had 365 days. Last year I missed 3 days. But still, it's like, how can you not, like, 10 minutes? You can do 10 minutes,
Right.
right?
I
So
love
that's
it.
just a fun thing I've been doing.
Yeah, and I think that's something maybe sometimes people are like with, you know, if it's not 30 minutes or if it's not the program, then I didn't do something, right?
Right.
And that then if you don't do a workout for a week, you're not any closer to creating that habit. But if you do something that's doable and you keep doing the action, the habit gets created, right? And then you can build on it. I mean, most of the time you're probably not doing 10-minute workouts anymore. Most of the time you're probably doing more just because you're used to, you're like, I'm going to move anyway. So let's just do this ride or let's do whatever, you know? And that's where it really benefits you, is having the habit in place. So does
Yeah.
anybody want to share what they're working on for January 2023? Any goal? Everybody talk at once.
I think for me, my biggest thing, well, first is my mind, honestly. It's trying to get my mindset in the right place, getting rid of, because I think where part of my problem is with like my workouts and things like that. It's like if I miss a day, I feel guilty. If I screw up on my food, because it's even like my previous coach that I was under, it's like the demeaning you, kind of.
Yeah.
Like it's all your fault. You know, you can do, it's like I just worked, you know, a 12-hour day and 3 hours of driving, but it's you have to make the time. It's like, you know, and then it just goes back to my whole history of just like people demeaning me all the time.
Right.
That, you know, I can be perfect at, or I can do it, or everybody makes mistakes. But even when I do everything right, it's like that, trying to get that out of my head.
Yeah.
You know, because I know that affects my food and it does affect my workouts. Even like right now, my blood pressure, I have high blood pressure, okay? So I have to be on medication. But I can't go to the doctor, so I'm kind of out of my pills, or so I kind of saved some to kind of strategically. So like yesterday and today, it's like, I feel guilty to a point because I'm like thinking, oh, everybody's just going to tell me you're just making up excuses. But when your blood pressure's up there,
right,
you can't, you got to be careful.
Yeah.
So it's like, all I've been doing is, you know, I'll get up, I'll try some stretches, even if I'm laying down, you know, some leg lifts or something. So I'm doing something, but it's not a workout.
Right.
So I'm working on my mental part. So if, you know, like I want to work out at least 5 days a week.
Right.
But if I don't do it because of like right now, I'm doing it for me and my health, that even if somebody tries saying it's an excuse, it's basically go to tell them to.
Yeah. I like to think of it more as you're creating the habit, like just by still getting dressed and doing anything. Right. And so like sometimes when I've had clients who are injured, I'll be like, still get ready or whatever, like whatever makes you feel like you're ready, go do a meditation or do, you know, something that's possible that helps you still keep the habit. You're still in that place, because then when things are better, you're already in it. You're still in it, right? You never left it. You still have the habit going. And so the transition's so much easier.
Well, and I did meditation yesterday and today too, but you know, it wasn't a beach body thing, but you know, it's just trying to work on myself.
Yeah.
You know, even just getting out of bed, it's like my head wants to just explode. I don't know if anybody knows what it's like to have blood pressure that high, but it's like just the fact of me going and doing the dishes. It's like, okay, I took all the dishes out of the dishwasher. They're on the counter. I'll go sit down, relax a little bit so I don't overdo it. And then I go back and I put the dishes away.
Right.
So at least I'm moving, but at the same time taking care of myself.
Yes. Which
And
is the
then it's
most
like,
important
okay.
part. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you're doing great, Sandra. I mean, you really have to you have to give yourself some grace during this. I
Yeah.
mean, you know, there's going to be times where you don't get to do exactly what you hoped you could do.
Mhm.
And
Yeah. And I have to get that it's okay. Cause I also am one of those bullheaded people that just keep going versus taking care of myself. But
right.
it might have to do with because that mental of people always telling me that I'm not good enough. So it's
Right.
like I try to prove it and then it still doesn't work. It just, but it was like today I went to itch my arm and I turned it around. I'm like, oh, muscle.
Woohoo! I know, I love
My
that feeling.
muscle. So like haven't worked out the 5 days a week like I wanted, but I've been doing enough where I'm getting my muscles, you know, so
Yeah.
can't complain. So I want to continue that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think, you know, like I think that's the thing where people stop, right? Is because like there's some kind of barrier, and that's going to happen to all of us at some point where we can't do the workout, can't, you know, do whatever is happening. But if you can continue some type of a habit through that, you're doing the best you can and you're taking care of yourself. And then when you come out, you're like, it's ready. You know what I mean? You don't have to rebuild that habit again, which is fantastic. And I also think too, sometimes if you feel like you're running into the same, like different scenario, you have health issues. So let's not even like act like that's like, nobody's going to tell you to keep working out through that. Right.
I do know people that would.
Okay, well, don't, because that's just not even like, let's let the medical professionals handle things. But like, let's say you like a lot of times, let's say a weight. There's times when people are losing weight and they get to a certain weight and then they're like, okay, I'm at that weight, and you make allowances. And there's some kind of a mental barrier there where you kind of stop yourself in things. Maybe you stop on some of your nutrition, you stop on some of your workout, but there's the thing that needs to be explored is not that you can't, it's what do you need to shift mentally that says it's okay if I keep taking care of myself in this way, or I keep progressing, like I'm worth progressing. And because I think sometimes we'll get to a certain point, and it's like, you just kind of stop yourself. You're self-sabotaging in some ways. And so then you have to kind of figure out, well, why am I? What's there that I need to feel, overcome, whatever it is. A lot of times you just got to feel some stuff, which is not all that fun, but, you know, and then you get to progress through it. That took a serious turn. Okay. No,
well, I did know. So I mean, I know it's weights. I mean, as much as I like to lose weight, weight's not my biggest thing. But the last time I weighed myself was like 3 months, maybe. And the other day I went and weighed myself, and I've actually lost like 11 pounds.
Awesome. Yeah.
So
I think sometimes too, when we take, like, there's a lot, you know, like a lot of things we're going to be talking about as we get into health esteem and especially with this group, the Health Esteem Bet on You, we're focusing on the action and not the result, right? Because so we used to do a health bet or like a diet bet style group. In our group, we've done it a couple times where you lose a certain percentage and then you split a pot of money. And this time we're really focused on the habits. And I think sometimes when you release the results piece and you're not as focused on that, but you're absolutely focused on your day to day and what you can do each day,
Mhm.
the results still happen. But the focus is on the lifestyle, the changes, just how things are going day to day. And that's really where then the results come in naturally. But sometimes I think we stress ourselves out over the results. And then it's like you feel a little stuck. So it's,
Mhm.
trying to figure out, but like, what do you need to do day to day and focus more on that? So that
Mhm.
the Bet on You group is what's coming up. And so if anybody's watching the recording, it starts the prep week is next week. It starts officially on the 16th. And I think it's gonna be really fun because it's really about logging your workouts, logging your nutritionals, and just getting in those daily pieces. But it's not 7 days a week, right? You get to have some rest days. You get to, have a little mess up here and there. We've got some 4 bonus things you can do to make up for a lost workout or a lost nutritional. And it's just going to be a fun way to really settle in on those habits and get the basics down. Another tool, right? Oh, that should have been on my list. Another tool. So yeah, going into 2023, I hope we all give ourselves a little grace, push ourselves a little bit to know that we can do some of the hard things we have on our list, right? We're able to do the things that maybe feel like they're going to be a little bit hard, but we can do them. And to just kind of be excited about the work you're putting in each day. And on a day where it's like, I didn't do it, take that non-emotional step back and
Mhm.
say, why? Right? What could I do to help myself get it done tomorrow? Maybe it's having food prepped. Maybe it's, telling someone you're going to be on the Zoom, so they expect to see you there the next morning, right? Maybe it's, saying you're going to log into something, whatever it is, right? Like just what can you do? And none of it should ever be associated with guilt, shame, any of it, right? It's just like you're a scientist and you're looking to see what can we do to make this thing happen better? How can we create this habit a little easier?
More podcasting.
More podcasts. That's exactly. Yeah, Sandra's hooked on the podcast now.
Well, it pushes me even more.
Yeah, 100%. Lily knows that. She says that all the time.
Well, I mean, I've been pushing myself more with the weights. I'll be like, no, I need to just be cautious. I don't need to hurt myself. But then it's like you start getting to some of them. It's like, this is too light. And then you go up to the next one. It's like, oh, God.
Yeah.
My legs have been hurting for how many days?
Right?
My butt.
Yeah, I know. I wish I wouldn't have been sick this week to do Amwala and Shanti's stuff. I'm going to have to add those in another time because they're going to be amazing. All the leg days.
Well, I don't think anybody really planned on it. Like I said, it's like, this is the first time the entire house has been sick.
Yeah.
Now me, it might have been more because of my blood pressure, but the rest of them, it's like, and my brother keeps throwing us back out. So.
Oh, no. Well, we'll try to stop spreading it on Zoom. I think we're done now, right?
Thank you. So I'm going to add, one of the things that I'm doing this month is trying to make new recipes.
Oh, I love it. That's my favorite.
Yeah, I know. I figured because I get super bored with food. And then I start struggling. Oh, do I want to go back to eating meat? Do I not want to? Do I want this? Do I not want to eat meat? I mean, like I play this whole game in my head.
Right.
So I have really been diving into this new booklet and trying to make some of the recipes in here. And right now my favorite is the minestrone soup. So if you haven't made that, definitely try to make it. But yeah, that's what I've been doing, just so I don't get bored with food.
I love it. And if that booklet that she is talking about is in your Ultimate Reset tile window under resources.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have the PDF version of it in BOD. So they're going to all be like veggie heavy super clean. Most are going to be gut friendly. There is some corn in some of them. So you just kind of have to watch for that, but most of them are going to be gut protocol friendly too. And you know, just some good, I love it. Like I do the exact same thing when I am starting to really be bored with food or just feel like I'm eating, you know, just kind of blah about things. I'm like, okay, let's find a new recipe.
And they're coming out with, since they don't have the Fixate cooking show anymore, they come out with new recipes every week,
Mhm.
every Monday. The Portion Fix, I'm not sure about 2B. I think they do
Both do 2 recipes each
But it's-
Monday.
But it's
Yeah.
like every week I'm like, oh, there's another new one. You know, like
Yep.
there's so many new ones. And I always say, okay, I want to try this. I want to do this. I don't do it
Yeah.
very often, but they're there. There's so many there. It's crazy how many recipes are there to try.
Yes. Yeah, there's a cheeseburger soup that just loaded in there.
And a
really
corn
cool.
dog
Saw that
something.
today.
Corn dog something. I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh,
She
I'm gonna
makes
try that with my
corn
kids."
dogs out of turkey, ground turkey.
Really? Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, and so many they're really good. Like I'm a bit of a food snob, and like so they're like going into Fixate I was a little bit like, yeah, but how good's it really going to be? And like there's so many of them. I make so many, like that pasta one. Once I'll be back on gut protocol on Monday, but once that pizza pasta thing's like amazing. Love it.
Yeah, I agree with you. That was really good. They are given, what did we read yesterday? So they're giving this book away, the actual cookbook, if you purchase a Ultimate Reset.
And
Or
3-day
3-day refresh.
Yeah.
3-day refresh.
Yeah.
So if anybody really wants this book and they want to do either of those, you know, now's your opportunity.
Yeah, so many good options between the blog, between the Fixate, with the Fixate that's just on bod, the Fixate that's on body, the mindset menu that's on bod, the 2B mindset on body, and now the ultimate reset editions. There's just so many options. What would everybody say like your biggest struggle is right now with your nutrition plan?
Actually eating all my containers.
Oh, interesting. Yep. So the volume
That
of food.
and I think it's because it's such a bad habit, but like I would almost wake up, just have a coffee, get started on work, and then be like, oh my gosh, I'm so hungry. And I look at the time and it's like lunch.
Right.
And so like I've just been really more mindful about it. And I think I'm just like I'm eating more, so it feels very counterintuitive to be eating as much as I'm eating. To the point where it's like my mom or my sister will call me, they're like, you're eating again? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, I don't think this is gonna help you. And I like that's like the like it's like almost like the naysayers are like,
yeah,
are you sure that this is what? But like this week I think I posted my tracker like yesterday, and I realized like I didn't eat any of my carbs or my yellows really. And today I ate everything, which I feel really good about, but I feel like I'm just eating so much food to the point where it's like I recalculated my bucket because I was like, this is a lot of food. This is a lot.
And it can take some adjusting. I mean, the makeup of the plan, the volume is much greater than if you were just eating the standard American diet, right?
Well, yeah, I remember seeing an image of a stomach, and it had like, you know, the right standard American diet food. If you look at the stomach, it only takes up like this much room.
Right.
And then when you eat fruits and vegetables and the healthy stuff, it takes up a lot of room in your stomach. And that was like the thing for me. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. That's why I'm feeling like this. Yeah,
right. And it does take a little bit of adjustment, but your body will burn through it. It can take a couple weeks. But you will start burning through that, and then you'll be hungry in between meals, and you'll start to expect that kind of volume. And so everything adjusts. But yeah, it can be tricky. And I mean, gut protocol, it feels like even more volume because you have another 1 to 2 cups of vegetables every day. So there's just a lot of volume, but yeah.
Yeah, so like I was struggling. I'm not hungry, which is a great thing because that's when I think, the snacks will creep in because I'm like a mindless snacker. But I think, I mean, I have a thyroid issue. So in
Mhm.
my head, I have to just keep fighting myself and being like, this is the right plan. Like, you have to just trust the plan. You just have to trust it. And like, I have to I've been reminding myself of that because I know that I have something that's like basically fighting against everything that I'm doing.
Right.
So that's also just my struggle. So I just have to like change my mindset about that.
Right. Yeah. And it will likely be a little slower and you'll have to be pretty consistent. But I
Yeah.
think the one thing that Alana talks a lot about is that change is all still possible. Because I think a lot of people have felt really so defeated, right? Because you try it for a certain amount of time and then things don't change.
Mhm.
It's just a situation where it's really gonna have to be consistent for a
Yeah.
while.
Yeah.
But even so, like, let's say your weight doesn't change, just having that diversity of food, you're gonna feel better, right? I mean, it's
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the last doctor's appointment, my endocrinologist was like, you're beautiful. You're beautiful. You're a mom. You're a wife. Like, just, you have to be happy with that. It's just going to take some time, if not at all. And you just have to just do what you need to do to be happier and healthier, and knowing that you're working out every day, not to get skinnier, you're eating to get healthy. And that's what's important. So again, just that mind shift, because it
Yeah.
probably will be a lot slower, but she's really body image positive anyway.
that's
Just
fantastic.
because,
Yeah.
she really is. And like, I started crying in the office because, I feel like I've been doing this for a while, and it's like, you see other results happening, and you see like the before and after pictures, and it's just like, why isn't it happening for me? What am I doing wrong?
Yeah.
And I had to have the mind shift of like, well, you're not doing anything wrong. You are just,
Right.
it's going to take some time.
Yeah. Yeah. I think and that's what I love, that we're going away from these before and after transitions, because that's the thing. None of us live in anybody else's body, and
Yeah.
don't know what they're doing to get there, or what they feel like, or how things are going. You only know how you are and how things are going inside of you. And that's where the focus has to be, because there's so many people I'm never going to look like, ever. Like,
Yeah.
you couldn't even plastic surgery me into them, right? It's just not gonna,
Right.
you can't move stuff around in such a
Yeah.
way, and that's okay. I mean, that's what makes us all so awesome, is that we are our own individual person. And it really is about celebrating that, and celebrating how good we can feel in our body, in our life, how we want to live. I mean, a lot of times, a couple of us coaches have talked about, I'm not willing to give up certain things to look a certain way. I want to enjoy, parts of my lifestyle that I want to keep. I don't need to look like this and not enjoy my life, right? So, you really have to kind of take all that into consideration. And
Yeah.
Well, even like for me, like if I were to drop down to what they would even claim I'm supposed to be, I could even go down to 100 pounds, but I've got large bones for my body structure. I could never be in a size 2 or 4 clothing just because of my bone mass.
right. Yeah.
But you have other people that could. My brother's like 6'3", and I'm not even, I'm like 5'3". For the size that he is, you would think a 6'4" guy, he'd have large muscle bone, but he doesn't. Or I'm sorry, bone.
People can be
Bone
tall and
structure. He
lanky,
doesn't.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I
mean, unfortunately, he's got, he's always had a weight issue, but overall, if he were to lose the weight, he's got a smaller bone structure than I do at my 5'3".
Right.
I mean, everybody, even if you took someone, say with his bone structure, but we were both the same height and the same weight, he could look way much skinnier than me at the same, just because everybody's got different bone structures and different muscles,
right.
build. So
and you carry weight differently. we're just different. And it's nice to start seeing some of that diversity come into advertising. It needs to be way, way more. But you know, it's finally starting, and we don't all have to look like the Victoria's Secret.
You see that all over though, and it's like, it's hard not to. You see those before and afters and you go,
It is
that's what
hard.
I want to look like. And I want to do it
Yeah.
as fast as that person did, and I'm not. And then you go, but I'm never gonna have that smallness on the bottom because my hips are just too big.
Right.
But that's what I want because that's what I see.
Yeah,
And
it
then-
is hard. It is hard, and we're really ingrained, and we see it all the time. And it's, I mean, that's, you know, somewhat the downfall of social media, right? Because you're seeing everyone's highlights, and you're seeing the, you know, maybe a filtered picture or a picture that has all the right lighting, and you know, that's just not like, there's so many people that if you saw them in real life, you wouldn't recognize them because they don't look like their Instagram.
Yeah.
You know, and that's just unfortunately, you know, where things are at. I can't remember whose state, Jess, is it your state that you can't have filters?
Yeah.
There's certain filters that you're not allowed to.
No, of like the face slimming ones. They took them away. I think they've actually slowly been bringing them back, but they did
Okay.
ban them for a little while.
Like there was a bathing suit I saw I liked on somebody on one of my Facebook, you know, pages, and they said they got it at Amazon. So I had my daughter order me a few in a different size because I didn't know what size to get. When I put it on me, it looked like hell. It didn't look anything like it did on that person. I'm going, I thought I had lost enough weight to be able to wear it, and it looks terrible. And I'm like,
Well, I
wow.
will say a lot of things that come from Amazon don't look as good as they do in the picture anyway. So it has nothing to do with you. Some of the clothing's, it's like the style, it was sewn, I don't know, like so many of them, I'm like, this isn't even like the same
I think I
looking
would
thing.
have to be a stick to wear that.
Yeah.
Well, and even like the Kardashians, they still Photoshop their photos.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
These are
they've
the
already
iconic,
redone everything.
right? They're already fake everywhere. Nothing is real, and yet they
Yeah.
still slenderize themselves. They still crop out, give themselves thigh gaps. It's just, it's funny when people point it out and you see it on social media. You're like, why do you need to do that?
Or all those things with the fake diet pills of,
Oh,
look at, I
yes, the
dropped
thing you
80
stick in your belly
pounds
button
and
or whatever. I'm like,
I lost 80 pounds in 14 days. Look at me now. It's like,
Right,
Yeah.
right.
you know, but my thing is though too, how long have you been like that? Well, I mean, I know it's to begin with, but if you were to go from that weight to that weight, if you've had weight on for, you know, a substantial amount of time, you have to go get, you know,
oh, you have loose skin, like
Surgery.
crazy. Yeah.
to
Yeah.
fix it. I mean, me at my age, like, if, you know, if I could lose the weight, I'd still have to go get some plastic surgery done.
Yeah, that's why we're all gonna focus in on just loving what we got, moving what we got, feeding what we got.
Yeah,
I just want to be able to tone down, and maybe by this summer, if I go to the beach, I can wear a 2-piece.
You can wear a 2-piece right now.
Wear it.
That's all I mean, like nobody, you can wear whatever you want, whenever you want right now. That's just
I
nobody.
just saw one of those pills on Facebook or whatever. Somebody was like going to a school for a doctorate, whatever she was, and she was reading something and she found some secret mineral. Like there's a secret mineral that nobody knows about, right?
Right.
And and you're getting excited, you know. She lost 52 pounds in 28 days, and who else lost this? Who else lost that? Because it hasn't been sold yet. They're selling it now. So who took it before? So it's like, you just take 2 a day. You don't have to diet or exercise or anything, and you'll just in a month lose all the weight. And it's like, wow, too good to be true, right?
It is.
Yeah.
You know, and you want to buy it because who wants to do all this diet and exercise? Just give me a pill.
Well, but that's the thing you need to fix, right? Because like we should be moving our bodies for well-being, not weight aside. Like just moving and eating nutritious foods for our mental well-being, for our physical well-being is critical.
Yeah.
And so no matter what weight is happening, like there's just so many studies out there that just you exercising and eating well, even if you don't drop weight, your health is better.
Yeah.
Your mental well-being is better. And those are the critical things. And that's where then you can start improving your mental health and, moving toward where you'd like to be in a, when you do it in a consistent, slower level, it's more permanent. When you do it fast, put it back because
Mm,
you didn't change the mindset
right.
to get there. You changed your calories. And when you change your mindset to get somewhere, that's the permanent change. That's when you've changed your lifestyle
Mm,
because you're a different person than you were before you started.
yeah.
So we'll all work on that. We're already at 6. Any questions, concerns, things you guys want to talk about real quick? I have on my to-do list to get the menu together so meal prep classes on the 15th this month. On Sunday, you'll see Lily and I with Jericho, and I think Sue and Kate get to be with Megan. Is that right? Oh, they get to be with Megan. So you'll see all those pictures from this weekend. That'll be fun.
Well, this weekend they have, oh my God, Megan's down here.
Oh, is she in Atlanta?
Yeah, she's in Atlanta.
She's going to be in Pittsburgh with Sue. Are you Saturday or Sunday, Sue?
Sunday.
Sunday. So maybe Saturday she's
here
in
Saturday.
Atlanta.
She's here Saturday, and then she goes to South Carolina in the afternoon. So
She's going to be a busy
Yeah, I
girl.
think she goes to DC on Sunday as well.
Wow.
I know.
And
Where in
that's,
South Carolina is she going?
what'd you say, Christina?
I just said, where in South Carolina? I'm in South Carolina.
I don't know, but we can
remember now.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's
Because
look
I
in the
just
back
happened to
office.
see like on Instagram she posted,
And
everywhere
those are
she was
open
going, and I
to-
noticed.
Yeah,
Saturday.
these super weekends, you can go, they're open. You just have to buy a ticket. There is not going to be an in-person one in April, but there will be another in-person one over the summer. So if it's something you want to go check out, it's super fun. You go and, there's a bunch of really nice, happy coaches around. So you get to experience that. And then you get to do a workout with a super trainer and hear some inspirational stories and sometimes try some products, and it's really fun.
Oh, good.
Probably the chocolate chip mint bars. That's what they sent us.
Nice. Yeah.
I've got like 100 or something in my basement right now. No, I can't remember how many I have. I have a lot. What is
So
it,
if you
8
go into
boxes?
I think Atlanta's probably closer to me. She's probably going to Charleston. I think Atlanta's probably closer to me. Maybe I should just go there.
Yeah,
'Cause
that'd
I've
be
never
cool.
been to-
It's a fun time. And,
Yeah.
and like honestly, I've been to several where I didn't know anybody, and you make friends quickly because there's lots of people that go that don't know anybody too. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's a good time. So if you ever want to go to them,
What are
Cool.
these? Do they get
they're
advertised?
they're just a quarterly coach meeting, but
Oh,
other people are welcome to come. And so the super trainers fly out to different locations across the country. It's different every time.
mm.
Isn't there a
So they're
map
not-
somewhere that you can
There is
see?
in the
Yeah,
map.
I'm looking at it.
Oh, okay.
I'm looking at
Can you
it,
pull it
but
up?
I don't see, I see Charleston.
Okay, that's what I thought. Charleston probably.
Anything in New
But I'm
York?
sure that there's more. Let me see.
Any in New York?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah,
Oh,
Mala's in
there's
New York.
definitely, yeah, there's always ones
Kamala
in
is
New
in
York.
New York.
Yeah.
I was supposed to go, but it just didn't work out with everything else that I had going on. But I was wondering when the next one was going to be,
Yeah,
so
so
then that way I could
We
plan.
normally would have had one April, but they're doing a
April,
virtual
okay.
because of all the shifts and our name change and things like that. So we're having a virtual in March. And so then I think it's like July, but I'm not totally sure.
Okay, There is one in Atlanta. Did you say you want to go to the one in Atlanta?
Yeah, I was thinking, because Atlanta, I think, is only a couple hours away. Charleston's more like 4 hours away for me.
Well, Atlanta, it's Megan is there at 9 a.m. on Saturday.
Oh, this
It's at,
Saturday?
like a Hilton,
Yeah,
I think.
this
hotel.
Saturday.
Yeah.
It's a double tree by
Oh.
Hilton. I'll send you the link.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
And can you go there and buy the ticket there? Or do you have to buy it like in advance?
Every event is different. I didn't look what they said on Eventbrite, but I mean, like some places don't sell tickets the day of. And if they do sell tickets the day of, generally they make them more expensive because for logistics reasons, it's nicer to know how many people are attending.
Yeah.
Which
okay.
just reminded me that I need to actually message my venue and tell them how many chairs I need in the room. I forgot to do that today. So
Oops.
yeah, pretty much. It'll be fine. It's not Saturday yet. So
Yeah.
All right. Well, and then tomorrow is Flex Friday. That's our theme for the selfie. So put your flexing up there. Lily will make us a collage. We'll be all set.
All right.
And as always,
All right.
if anyone has any topics they ever want to focus in on, talk about, just yell, put it in the nutrition chat or message me, and we can talk about it.
Sounds good.
All right, you guys have a great night.
Bye. Have a good night.
See you later.